Evening, or welcome back to Dust, and we're going to continue our little montage of gunning because, well, look at that, that's why. Gunning is ridiculously fun. I think it's probably one of those kind of hidden gems in the game that I think a lot of people maybe don't know about, so I think if you don't do gunning, if you're not familiar with it, give it a go. Best thing to do is to actually run an assault dropship because you then get the bonus to speed of the fire of the gun, which is not to be underestimated. Rate of fire, or ROF, is pretty important. As you can see, the railgun I think is the best gun of them all. Yes, oh, look at that, almost died. I think the missiles are brilliant. I think you'll find that the missiles are very good, but the Incubus is a bit tougher and it'll take a bit more damage, so you'll probably die less with the Incubus. And I think, you know, blasters are brilliant, but you have to be very close. So I think railguns serve probably the purpose of being particularly good. But look at this, we're being assaulted by Forge Gun, we're being shot at all areas, and yet, you know, Gaz is able to survive. He's doing a great job. And I think this is just a hidden gem within the game that people maybe don't know about, or if they do, they've maybe tried and dismissed because they've done it with standard dropships, for example. So, you know, I think it's definitely worth a look. So look at that guy there. He's he knows what's up. So we hunt him. So we start becoming this kind of chariot of the gods, trying to find this mortal so we can strike him down. And blap, there we go. Oh, that's good. I know I'm childish, but I do like it. It just makes me smile. And as you can see, look, I mean, even heavies, it demolishes them. That was a 2-shot probably on a heavy, and maybe a 2-shot. And it's kind of, I think, just a great mobile gun platform. I mean, if you've got a good pilot, I mean, Gaz is a great pilot, one of the best. And I think, you know, you can't really, as long as you have that stability and he keeps the ship level, and he's got balls of steel, quite frankly, to keep the thing in the game, you know, to keep skin in the game, you're going to do just so well. But look at that, the gunning is so fun. I mean, we're just wiping them out. Look at that, 3 dudes in one go, wiping them out. Dropship style. I recommend this tactic to everyone because it's rather fun, and that's obviously the point of the game. So what we're going to talk about today is a little bit more about dropships, I think, but I think really I want to start talking a bit more about Legion. I think there seems to be a kind of interesting silence still going on about Legion. Oh my god, look at all the stuff they've dropped there. That's ridiculous. And look at that smack. Blap. I think Legion at the moment is a very it's a quiet time, isn't it? They're not really talking too much about it, which is it's frustrating in a way because I would love to know a bit more. If anything, and here's a question for you. I mean, do you feel that CCP is deliberately not telling people something? I don't know. For me, and let me be honest. Let me be very clear and very honest with you. If they announce tomorrow that Legion is not going to happen, and you know they're still not sure what they're going to do with Dust, I would not have a problem with that. I think I'm not interested in even if it's bad news. I think for me any news is good because I accept that things like Legion are probably going to be difficult things to develop at the moment, given that EVE seems to be having a bit of a numbers crisis. It seems to be having generally a few challenges, and I think, you know, the new executive producer, which is CCP Siegel, again, looks very competent, capable person. I think they have a hell of a job ahead of them, but yeah, let's hope that they can rise to the occasion. I'm a bit surprised that actually they've given her the job, because if you look at what they did with Dust, it seemed to be the right decision. You get an established EP, somebody who, you know, knows what they're doing. Now, not a lot of people may not particularly like what Rouge's approach to the game has been, but I think most you can't deny he has at least made a stand and decided to go with it. Indecision, I think, is what kills most things. In business, I find that, you know, if you don't have strong leaders, you don't have people who say, sod the difficulty of doing anything, I want to go there. And they just pick up a flag and they start walking. And the people that follow them usually are following them because they've actually been bold enough to make a statement and say, I want to do this. Now, I don't think Siegel is that. I think, again, she's kind of risen through the ranks. So she's really just kind of, you know, risen into the role, which has many benefits, but it also has many drawbacks because there's baggage. because there's maybe some predetermined issues. So, you know, well, we can't do that because of this reason. Well, you know, that means that then that will never be done. You do need sometimes a fresh pair of eyes to ask the question. Plus, I'm surprised that they're actually gambling so much on somebody who has never done that role before. She has been a developer, but not an executive producer. So post in the comments, tell me what you think. I honestly think it was quite a surprising decision. I think it maybe even showed that they were not willing to invest and spend the big money to get somebody in who has a proven track record of doing this. I don't know. I mean, from my point of view, in a similar scenario but in a different industry, we would never do what they did. We would never. I mean, I know as much as it sucks, we would never entrust the. We would never just entrust somebody who's doing the job already, somebody who's already been with the job for some time. We would never entrust them with the top job, because you bring top people in to bring new ideas. You're actually paying the big bucks to bring completely new ideas and etc. in. So to me, I'm surprised. I am actually a little bit surprised, but you know, I think the irony is that she is actually going to do a good job. I really do believe that. I think already she's shown, I think, a capability to develop. She's also shown a massive inability to talk publicly about it. I remember when she did the fan fest, and I thought she was going to asphyxiate on stage. It was it was pretty funny for me, because I'm an arsehole and I kind of laugh at people when they can't do things like that. But there we go. You know, I think it's going to be an interesting kind of ride with the whole Eve thing, because it's not terribly clear what on earth where Eve is going, what's its answer to Elite, what's its answer to Star Citizen. And if you basically turn around and tell me Valkyrie, I'll punch you in the throat, because Valkyrie is just a tech demo. It's not a game. It's going to be just a tech demo. And when you look at what Star Citizen and Elite have already, a universe-spanning sandbox game, then you're kind of never, you know, it's going to be incredible. And I think Valkyrie has got a long way to go to even begin to compete with those games. So it's a shame, because Eve for so long has dominated the space opera games, because there was just no competition. There was no Elite, there was no Star Citizen. Anything that was come out, like Rogue Traders, if you know that game, then I pity you, because it's terrible. And others were just terrible games, really badly done, that were just copying the whole kind of free space idea. So this is really the first credible and big attack on CCP's market share of this type of game. And I think already with the ACU, the average concurrent users, dropping like a stone in the last 6 months, that to me pretty much says that CCP is going to lose this battle, because CCP is not the innovator anymore. CCP is not the prodigy, the game changer. It is actually what is being changed from. They are the old-fashioned, old-guard, stoic game that is being cited as being really limited, boring, old, and uninteresting. And this is why, you know, Elite is being seen as like the old favorite, the old guard, and it's back and it's brilliant, and it runs on low-end PCs. It runs really well. It's going to be 400 billion stars systems that you can go to. It's going to be huge. Star Citizen is being sold as a game that basically will give the ability to walk around, fight, shoot on the ground, to do anything as a person, a proper person. I mean, that again is alone is going to be huge. So yeah, these are big steps forward in game design. And Eve is still sat there with you spinning around a ship that you can't walk, you can't really do anything at. You can't walk around a station. Yes, you have the captain's quarters. Hardly anyone uses it. They don't see that as important. The ships haven't really changed that much. There hasn't been much of an interesting change in deep space. So, you know, people are just real money trading the deep space products and running their lives on it. And they've all formed a cartel and they're living quite comfortably on that. That's also killed the game. Having static moons giving the same product for 10, 50, what, I don't know, 5, 10 years now, has meant that there's been no change in deep space. Having everything locked and stationary and static has made Eve the most boring game in deep space ever, and that's why people don't want to live in it. So these are just things that I think, quite frankly, it's almost like unbelievable that CCP have not watched their game, and I see the same things happening with Dust. I honestly don't think they play their own game. I honestly don't think the CPM are playing this game that much. If you look on, well, again, we'll maybe share that next time, but already we're seeing that a large number of the CPM are not logging in. Since they've actually taken office, they've played almost 0 hours, and that's pretty terrible. So there's just lots of these kind of things where you think to yourself, nobody really can be bothered with CCP at the moment, and this is because it's been the same management, the same leadership, the same stakeholders, the same everything for too long. The same personalities in the community have been in influential positions for too long. The game has literally not moved since I left, and I left maybe 4 years ago. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I quit. And I stopped playing it permanently, let's say. And that's exactly why the game has gone nowhere, I think, because nothing's changed, nothing's really happening, and it's a very dull time. So there we go. Now we'll talk maybe more about this next video, because I think there's certainly a bit of an issue here with Dust, because again, Dust isn't changing as much either. But anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.